Welcome to the Hat Chat podcast. That's very interesting.
I love it.
Fingal. That was a very quick fingal.
I love it.
We got fingled.
Robin Haig, thank you.
That was from Robin Haig, yes. My name's Ross.
My name is Chris Trott.
And my name's Alex Smith.
The most generic name.
Oh, the American football player.
Yeah, the quarterback for the Washington Redskins.
Excellent. Wow, it's an honour.
It is, yeah. I don't know anything about the sport, but it's great to see you.
Get some disclaimers in there before you start swearing.
We're going to swear in this. We will. It will happen. So brace yourself.
It's also adult themes, adult content, and themes of sexual nature.
There's going to be swearing.
Might happen. Sex words.
Right.
Sexy swearing words.
Pointless.
Like fuck.
Which is both a swear word and talks about
Brilliant.
sex.
It's got multiple
it does.
uses.
It's a sex word.
It's like the Swiss Army knife of language.
And
Yeah.
bollocks.
Bollocks. I mean, a lot of
Do we
English
have
swear
to swear?
words are.
Can we tone it down? Because
Sorry, we're triggering Ross.
Are you? Penis.
that's all right. You can say penis, right?
Vagina.
You can say penis on TV before 9 p.m., right?
Yeah, I mean, it's penis.
It's like nose or
But in
arm.
what context? You couldn't just
Well,
say,
yeah, the context matters.
look at my penis on
Yeah.
national television on like morning TV.
Well, you also couldn't scream at a kid on a children's show and say, I'm going to cut your nose off, could you?
You shouldn't.
It's context.
Context.
You
for
could
everything.
do it. You could do it.
And if we've got little Charlie.
What if they had like a prosthetic nose on and it was a part of a joke? You could say it then.
Well,
I'm going to cut your fucking... No, you can't
No,
say
you
you
that.
can't say that.
Can't say
I'm going to cut
fucking.
your nose off.
You little shit.
Get right in their
It's
face.
also the tone that you're saying it. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, that sounds invasive and threatening.
Okay.
Well, that's
Well,
an
we've-
interesting
we've-
segue.
I'm going to
Found
cut
some boundaries.
segue.
I've got a segue for you.
Go on.
So you're basically talking about the context of the things that you're saying, right?
You can
That's,
talk
that's,
about
that's precisely what I said, yeah.
Text-aware Phil from
I'm going to
Photoshop.
talk about
No?
context-aware Phil from Photoshop. No, I'm talking about
Alex Smith, the rep for Photoshop.
There's recently stuff with YouTube where they're demonetizing channels that are allegedly spreading hate speech or saying things that people don't like. And people are like, well, you need to stop these people from doing this. You need to stop them from spreading this message. And they're like, well, kind of freedom of speech, so we're just going to demonetize that person. Now, this particular article was referencing a Canadian conservative podcaster.
Oh, I think is this Crowder?
Yes, that's right.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think there's a...
Crowder! Sorry, that was irrelevant.
Crowder!
There is an out of...
But like basically, people are getting really annoyed with it because this person does say some pretty like mean stuff sometimes, and has some pretty controversial views. I tried to watch a bit of it, but it's quite long and not really in line with my own beliefs.
There's an out of the loop thing about this,
Right.
which might
Oh,
be a
you love
bit
this
better.
Reddit, right?
Well, it's just easier to
Fills you in.
explain it
Yeah.
because here we go. Stephen Crowder is his name.
Perfect. Let's see what the TLDR is.
It's not. No, it's quite long still. But they said. Fuck. Hang on. Shit.
Right, whilst you're
Tits,
finding that,
balls, piss.
essentially, we want to talk about or explore the idea of what censorship is, what money and why money has any sort of bearing on it at all. Personally, I'm of a persuasion of people should be able to say anything,
Right.
But you need to make sure that the people hearing it are educated enough to be able to form opinions of their own. And I think that's where the problem comes. I mean, if you demonetize a person or censor a person, I just feel like you're just sort of almost just treating the symptoms and not the cause. If you know what I mean?
So if I
This is
called Chris,
hard.
if I said Chris Trott, you're a straight piece of dirty shit. Do you think that's fine?
Oh, worse than that, you would say something like, I think
You're
Chris
disgusting
Trott
for being
probably-
straight, Chris Trott.
Or Chris Trott may,
Unfazed.
be abusing his new puppy.
You're a puppy abuser and you're
Slander.
filthy.
Yeah.
That's what you're
You
talking
look
Or
about.
dirty.
libel. I'm not really
look
sure what
unclean.
the two differences are. I can't remember.
I mean, Ross is speaking
Throw
truth.
some stuff at him. Like, come on. I can't be the only one.
Yeah, I mean, that's hurtful.
Did you wash today? Oh, you stink like shit.
This is fine. I mean, I can tolerate the smells, but saying that I'm a dog abuser is pretty bad.
Yeah, it is pretty bad.
And then I'm gonna get riled up and go on Twitter, right? That's what you're saying, and say, "I want you to shut up."
Well, say for example, okay, let's temper that a bit. Instead of me saying you are a dog abuser categorically, I would be like, ooh, Trott's got a new dog. It's really nice, but I think he might be mistreating it. He seems like the kind of person to do it.
Did you see those eyebrow wiggles there? Because only if you watch.
And the important thing here is that people watching this know that you probably aren't, and I'm joking,
How
but
do
that's
they know?
because
Probably
they
aren't.
They don't
I mean,
know,
don't
Chris
put-
Trott.
Well, they can't say
Behind closed
categorically
doors,
you're
Chris
not.
Trott is a
Exactly.
different
guy.
Nobody has
Yeah.
evidence to suggest either way. However, because they know it's us three and we always say stupid shit like this, our audience hopefully knows, as Anna Band, some of you didn't, knows that this is the kind of shit we make jokes about and things like that.
Context.
Exactly, context. But
that can be...
we're privileged in that our audience kind of hopefully understands that we're idiots.
I think also, though, you need to be careful online because it is misconstrued all the time.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to be misconstrued and you want to get straight to the point without any context being taken out of context, then you need to be clear with your points. And what's the point of doing what you do as well? I think it's also like, why put this vitriol online?
Yeah. Why are you saying these things?
Yeah. What's the point? What's the goal? What's the purpose? Are you just saying it because you're angry?
Yeah.
Is there other underlying problems that you need to fix before you start taking it out on other people?
But realistically, could an audience ever work all that out? Like
No, they can't, which is why you have to be careful what has been said.
But I feel like we're just dealing with the limitations of people being able to know what people are like. Like, say, for example, you know that somebody's having a really hard time at the moment and they're being an asshole. And you're like, shit, like, oh, their partner died, or, something really bad happened in their life, so you give them a pass, right? Because you know that's something bad. However, if you've just met somebody and they're being an asshole, like, it's harder to sympathize with them because you think they're just being an asshole.
True. And then you need someone else to be like, it's okay, it's just having a hard day.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
What if there's a pattern of it, as inconsistent?
Well,
doing the same.
You make a decision to not engage with that person. I think that's the only thing you can do, realistically. I don't think you have a right to go up to them and say, stop saying this. You should say, like, right, we need to disengage with this person. Like,
surely you do have the right to say that.
You do have a...
I mean, you can ask them.
But I don't think you can expect your
me.
word to be law. That's the thing,
right? Okay,
like, as in, if you said, like, I really hate that you're doing this, but you're saying being a really bad person.
Yeah.
Again, like, just weigh up the outcomes. What's the benefit of you going up to someone and saying that versus you just disengaging from them?
Yeah.
Like, are they spreading something that's toxic and is hurting loads of people, and therefore you need to rise to the occasion and fix that so that other people don't get affected? Or does disengaging from it just solve your problem and therefore it's fine?
Well, it's like fake news, right? So now, like, people are like going on about fake news, and like, personally, I feel like fake news has been around for a very, very long time, and
Donald Trump just
says it,
trademarked it.
Yeah. But like, because like with tabloid media, for example, sensationalist writings, particularly about celebrities, like all the shit that they come up with in the
scandal
in the tabloid media.
Scandal.
However, I feel like we're very much focused on, like, I feel like we need to change. Like, it's going to take a very, very long time, but I think we need to change to the point where an audience is more capable. And there was a website launched a year or so ago about trying to verify things, right? I think, is it called Veritas? Is it? Was it called Veritas?
There's quite
to verify if things aren't fake news, right?
Yeah, to give people a resource to try and make their own decisions based on facts, like the information that we have that we know to be true, rather than know to be opinion.
It's crazy that there's a section of people out there that would, say that is also propaganda.
I mean, it could be controlled, couldn't it?
Like, we don't know for sure.
Are we just
what
moving
agenda?
And the risk here is power, right? When the wrong people get in power, when the wrong people have control over multiple people's lives, that's scary. That's like for example, our next prime minister is not going to be elected by the public. It's going to be elected by the Conservative Party, and whilst obviously I don't think any of us voted for our current Prime Minister Theresa May. We voted for a different party.
Well, no, it was. I don't think that was. Oh, that was voted for. Yeah.
So
they did
whilst we didn't necessarily vote for Theresa May either, I feel particularly powerless in this circumstance because whilst when we were voting, we kind of knew roughly who would be leading the country. Now it's kind of like I'm like dreading Boris Johnson being fucking Prime Minister because it's just like. Not another sort of popularist buffoon. Like, I mean, people, don't get me wrong, I liked him as Mayor of London. Like, the whole point for that, why that worked.
It didn't seem as serious then,
no, exactly,
right?
Exactly.
It just seemed like this guy who was just fucking, what was he doing? Ziplining?
Ziplining, got stuck
and
in
just got stuck in like these kind of like key moments where it's like, oh, like he's kind of like a
Again,
relatable
is that
buffoon.
all like marketing? Is that all Boris Johnson marketing? That the points that you saw of Boris Johnson were all these like
relatable,
novelty,
dumb moments.
It could be.
And
Definitely.
underlying that, there is a serious policies and stuff that he's doing.
So how is anybody really capable of forming their own opinions, like as an audience?
It doesn't
like,
matter because it's all a simulation.
What was the thing? Trott. VR is worth talking about.
Segue.
That was quite a
That's
segue.
what I thought. It was.
I was prepping the clip that I was going to show you that because
on.
I feel like you haven't seen the clip that he was kind of almost defending there. Craig, do you want to bring it up?
Which one is it?
It's the one I just put at the bottom. There's a little clip of what
The
this guy said,
Verge.
just so you can see the context of what he said and why people are angry. So it's in that little box there, I believe.
So this is back to the conversation about
No, it's that
one
there.
YouTuber saying bad stuff to another YouTuber. Ultimately, is what's happening, right? Here we go. This is on Twitter.
Ironically, it's on The Verge as well, which is Vox.
With our favorite lispy sprite from Vox. It's ridiculous. It's bonkers. You're being given a free pass as a crappy writer because you're gay.
That center line on his little queer graph there. What is
Well,
that
now
line?
the graph is queer.
Violence, filth.
Okay, so the little queer could eat his chips all nonchalantly. It's code for rape, Mr. Queer eating chips on the Vox channel. Chip, 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 but you can eat just one, like dicks. This is what Mr. Gay Vox wants to do. Mr. Lispy Queer from Vox. What were you holding, Gay Latino from Vox? Even his hand movement.
All right, I think we get the
So
picture.
yeah, you get a picture. So this guy's constantly
Skype.
throwing abuse at this guy. Like,
But to me,
what do you think about that?
I think he's a fucking asshole,
Yeah.
and I won't watch his stuff.
It's more I just judge him rather than just don't give him a voice.
The problem here is this guy does have a voice, but that's
Yeah.
because there are other assholes out there watching him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but
Screw that.
How did those assholes come about? Oh, it was probably something to do with their upbringing or their education. Like,
Sure.
like I think we would think, well, that I would not say that about a person, even if that, like, I might call Trump a few names. Because of some of the things I feel that they've done, but I still think I wouldn't go to the extent of calling him, like, extreme
Queer,
derogatory
the use
slurs.
of queer is homophobic.
Yeah.
As a homophobic slur.
But also just the way he's just
Like, that's pretty bad, right?
yeah.
And so YouTube responded. So this is what this article was explaining. Was basically the question is YouTube's new mass censorship and demonetization caused by this Carlos Massa and Vox, which own The Verge, I believe. Because I think he works for them. Who are the targets of these punishments? Is it equal enforcement? So there's no way to know for sure because it was an internal decision by YouTube. So basically, they just demonetized. They didn't like take him
Didn't
down.
censor it, yeah.
Didn't censor it.
And I saw somebody saying that's not how he makes his money anyway. He sells
Sure.
T-shirts and all these with these horrible things on them
Of
to his
course, yeah.
audience, and that's how he makes money.
But what do you think about them just not doing anything?
But-
Because I'll read their announcement so that you can hear. Today, we're taking another step in our hate speech policy by specifically prohibiting videos alleging that a group is superior in order to justify discrimination, segregation, or exclusion based on qualities like age, race, gender, caste, religion, sexual orientation, or veteran status. It does go on.
I think
what they've done
that
about it, I'm trying to
it's
find.
The thing that I saw about this was YouTube's policies are breaking terms of service is inciting race, hate, gender, all of those things, and homophobia is one of them.
Yeah.
And this person broke the terms of service. So
Right.
what does that mean? They get a strike, right?
Did
That's
they?
ultimately.
I don't know if they did.
that's-
But is this even about an individual complying with a company's set of rules for disseminating something? It's not really, is it? It's not really about him breaking terms of service.
It's bigger than that, but
It's bigger than
ultimately,
that, yeah.
like YouTube needs to get behind its own thing. Like they can't
Yeah.
say one thing and put a policy.
People will find another platform. People will find another platform. Like they'll find a different place to do it. Like before this,
Yeah, they
people
will do,
released
but,
like years ago. People would release pamphlets with their opinions. Then people would write letters in newspapers. And then people would put things on Facebook or MySpace. Now people
Blogs,
make videos.
yeah.
Like I don't think censorship solves any problems. If anything, it puts a spotlight on it. Like if nothing else, I think that you need to look at why people are like this. Why does this person?
like you say, correct the root of the problem.
Yeah,
rather than the,
like I would never say that about gay people because I've met many gay. I've got many gay friends. The classic line. I've got loads of black friends. But like it doesn't matter. Ultimately, I don't care if that person is gay. Like they're just a person, and a gay person can be an evil person as well, or a horrible person too. This isn't about saying that all people who think in a certain way or say certain things should be censored and people shouldn't hear them. Because I think if you don't hear that people have these opinions or have this way of thinking, then you'll never get perspective.
you're not going to solve it.
You're never going to get the perspective to solve it, or to to understand another person's way of thinking. That's just me. I would much rather hear every opinion and form my own than only hear the opinions that are certain, like that the society has deemed the correct opinions. I just think
Ultimately, on a base level,
yeah,
attacking someone that is lashing out is not a way to solve a problem, right?
no,
Like fighting fire with fire,
Yeah.
you need to have a discussion. And I feel like if you're going to get this person to see sense and be less homophobic, don't go trying to close them off, try and appeal to them.
yeah. Find out why they're like this. Maybe they're only homophobic not because of any particular prejudice towards gay people, more just because they want to make loads of money.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, so why do you want to make loads of money? Because everything around me is geared towards everyone making money, especially in America. You know,
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's Canadian, but like, you know, like, why is that person so obsessed with making money? Why is that person willing to say anything to make money? Like, it's
ultimately, like,
hugely
lashing out
complicated.
publicly on Twitter. Like, if any of us were to say something, we'd have fans that would get behind us regardless and would then attack the person that, without context, just from what we're saying, just go after them, which
Rally
I'm
the troops.
sure, which I'm not saying is right or wrong, but the people that were following the person that was attacked, I'm sure had a load of following that also went after this guy with a lot of hate of their own going back at him.
And that's fire.
And what's that going to do for him is he's just going to be like, fuel.
Yeah.
This is perfect. I'll lap it up because, oh, look, they're fulfilling my prophecy.
Isn't
and all that.
brigading in
Brigading.
the terms of service? Like, you're not allowed to, like, kind of send people to someone's thing or whatever.
Yeah, but
or-
what can they do about
I
it?
guess there's nothing you can do if you, because he didn't actually specifically say
Again,
go
like-
and attack this person, did he? So
Like Smith says, it's not about the platform. It's about what people are doing to other people.
Yeah.
And you need to sort the root of the problem. Going to war doesn't solve anything. It just people just end up with casualties on both sides.
So YouTube have said, our team spent the last few days conducting an in-depth review of the videos flagged to us, and while we found language that was clearly hurtful, the videos as posted don't violate our policies. We've included more info below to explain this decision. As an open platform, it's crucial for us to allow everyone from creators to journalists to late-night TV show hosts to express their opinions within the scope of our policies. Opinions can be deeply offensive, but if they don't violate our policies, they'll remain on the site. So they've kind of kept with the whole kind of free speech thing.
That's fine. Update your terms of service.
Where's the line?
To reflect that. Because it says you can't do any of these things. You can't have bad language or anything like that. As the
Rules
terms-
that aren't kept to are worse than,
Yeah.
you know.
Like, say,
yeah, like,
you can say
no
whatever you
rules.
want in these videos. They're just not guaranteed to be monetized.
Yeah.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's their platform, and you know, if they want to be represented in whatever way, they can do what they like. Really, you know, censorship aside, they can, you know, put whatever they want on that website. They can shut us down. They can, you know, take away your money, take away your channel.
Yeah.
It's all entirely up to them. So you know, they are playing God in that scenario. But yeah, there's not really much else they can do about it. So it's been a big uproar online.
And to be clear, I'm not defending these people. Like, I know I say these things and people are like, oh, Smith's just alt-right. It's like, I'm not. Like, I would still say that
Wearing a red
person
t-shirt.
is an asshole. I am wearing a red t-shirt. But in the UK, this is Labour, you know?
That's
It's
right.
Republican in the US. But, like, I'm not defending, like, this person is an asshole. And there are plenty of assholes out there. I'm an asshole. You know, like...
It's like Katie Hopkins, isn't it? Well, she'll come out and say stuff, but obviously she says it because she
doing it for
knows
money.
it brings her revenue.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
her career, yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
point. We've mentioned this before on a podcast where it's like, you know,
And this guy...
the worse
I don't
you are
wanna
to
make
people, the
assumptions,
better
but-
they'll make money.
Yeah,
you know?
This guy is living off of drama and just attacking people. So more attacks at him is just more for him to talk about and more of a platform. It elevates him and gives him more to talk about and also reinforces his own opinions of people, which just doesn't solve the problem. So,
Like, yeah, it sucks that people are like this, but like, you know, we've all had a part to play in making people like this, I think. Yeah.
But it's the root of the problem is people are insecure and have problems like Instagram.
Excellent.
There's
Okay.
insecurities there because a lot of it is not what you expect. It's not real. A lot of people add a filter. They touch up their faces.
Well, you were saying you went
They
to a
use
gig,
the warp tool.
right? Like,
Yeah. So I went to Muse last night. I don't know if you heard of them. They're quite a low-key band.
oh, those weirdos from Devon.
Yeah, guys from Devon.
Yeah.
They play a lot of
Wasn't the
like
lead singer
classical music.
Married to Kate Hudson.
Is he?
it? Yeah, he was.
What, Matt Bellamy, Kate Hudson?
Yeah, he was. I don't think he's like married to her now, but
Okay.
he's just got kids with her.
Yeah,
Fun
yeah,
fact.
they divorced.
So Trott was watching this band
It's an odd
perform,
mismatch, I think.
and he was just telling us about
Google
it
them.
earlier.
They're all right. I think
Yeah.
they've got
They got potential.
potential.
Yeah.
So-
Next few years they'll be big.
Yeah.
Trott was watching Muse play, and he was telling us about it before the podcast started. And he was saying, like, it was really amazing, really, really good. But what was really annoying is there was somebody in front of me filming the whole
A
thing.
group
of people
a
filming.
group of drunk people
Yeah.
all had their phones out, either filming the stage or taking selfies of each other being at the event. That's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
take a photo if you want, don't do the whole thing. Like they literally had their phone out
Really?
for almost every song.
Yeah.
Just like doing zooming
You see,
in.
I think
First of
that's-
all,
yeah,
I was criticizing their camera work because
yeah.
it's a night shot.
So unstable.
And
It's terrible.
you just don't have the aperture. Anyway, it's like you're going to get crappy footage out of that. Also, you're looking at this screen instead of just enjoying what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And I'm pissed off because this is blocking my view.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
I think that's annoying. I think it makes no sense to film it. Not really.
No.
I get it if they're going to take a selfie. I'm here. This is what I'm doing. This is how.
Yeah.
This is a really cool gig or
Yeah.
whatever. Sure,
That's fine.
But I think if you're filming the gig, like what are you enjoying there? Like no one's going back to that clip.
But it's because
It's like shots of
No,
fireworks.
it's because people are now more concerned
No one goes
with
back to this.
fucking fireworks. I've actually taken some good photos of fireworks, Harvey. You know.
But how often do you go back to?
Not very
view them?
often.
Not very often.
But they are on my Instagram to make me look good.
Okay.
And this is what I was going to say.
Nice.
So
Did that work?
We're now much more concerned
Yeah.
about making sure other people know we're having a great life or doing
Yeah.
interesting things
It came
than we
from,
are
like-
in experiencing the interesting things.
It's like MySpace and Facebook.
Yeah.
The whole like social network of like, ooh, everyone else is doing really interesting things. Like I should put stuff on my feed. The stuff I'm doing, even if I manufacture it slightly. It's like, tastiest meal I've had in weeks, and then it's all right, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Is
I'll
there
put a
more to
filter
it than
on
that? Do you think? Like more to just kind of, I don't know, self-fulfilling.
I think there are
Is
other
it-
uses for it.
Yeah.
I would say, well, I'm
marketing, for
basing
one.
everything off of my own experiences.
Yeah.
I didn't used to use Instagram much, and then I started using it for a while, and then I did start to actually care about what people were saying about my image, like the things I was posting, and I was like, shit, I've never really cared about that. You know, I read a lot of YouTube comments. I read like pretty much all the Reddit comments on our Hat Films Reddit, and whilst I take them as feedback or like other things, ideas and things like that, they haven't all really like affected me negatively. Like I've not really been one of those people that's had been affected negatively by comments on things. And but then I realized, I'm loving getting these positive comments or nice comments
boost.
on
So
Instagram.
say how bad? Where are they saying bad stuff? I guess it's on our channel,
You
right?
know, just like little stupid comments and shit
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
like once in a while. But like, and I realized that started to affect me, and I've never really thought about Instagram like that before, or any social media. Like, I want to look good,
That's-
you know.
That's all it is. Instagram is just photos. So someone put
You
it
can
in
do
there.
videos as well. No?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's mostly visual.
Yeah. Of course.
So
it is, yeah, it's all
with
visual.
Instagram, someone on YouTube, I don't know, I should credit them, but they did a video about this and how it's false.
Was it a bad video? Is that why you don't want to credit them?
No, it was good.
Yeah.
Actually, it was really good.
I
It was,
won't mention them. It's awful.
anyway, it's the worst video I've ever seen. Very homophobic. It wasn't. Basically, they were talking about how these experiences are you're living vicariously through the people you're following, and you could never achieve what they have.
Right.
So if you're following the Dwayne Johnsons, the Kardashians, the big people that are successful, you cannot have what they have because that photo that they made is not real in and of itself. For example, you've got a photo of like a really beautiful woman lying on the floor, like with her hair spread like that,
Just naked. Just.
and
Also-
the person taking the photo is the Instagrammer.
Is this Instagram?
Yeah.
And it's like, just my girlfriend's on the floor.
Instagram boyfriends.
Instagram boyfriend.
Yeah.
For the person watching, like, what scenario in your life are you likely to ever be looking down on a woman like that?
Yeah.
From that perspective, it's like you're receiving experiences of life that's not yours.
Some of those are, in a way, that obviously they're trying to be artistic, right?
Yeah.
So it's like when you're posing a shot like that, you're trying to
But-
make something that looks good because
Yeah.
it's like if you drew something you want it to look good, you're gonna make it. You're gonna work hard on it.
And yeah,
That's
there's
that
definitely a
version of that, right?
photography art angle to
Yeah.
it. A lot of it is, look how beautiful I am.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
validate my beauty.
Yeah, definitely.
Or that's,
Also framing something in a way that's meant to seem organic and isn't.
it's like
you know?
holding
Was
a
it like-
champagne
oh,
bottle
man.
in a limo. And being
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This is my life.
Was
kind
it
of
Lil
thing.
Bow Wow who took a picture of a private jet and said he's like going somewhere, and then someone took a picture of him on a commercial plane
Yeah.
and said, no,
Again,
he's
like-
not. He's not doing that, by the way, guys.
Those fleeting moments that those celebrities or people have of like this is my life.
The sales pitch.
You see that tiny piece, and the rest of their life is like everyone else's, where they have to get up, take a shit, have a piss, fart,
Yeah.
upset the person they're with because your fart is disgusting, and they need to leave the room. You have a small like back and forth.
In essence, you would argue that, I guess, YouTube has the same effect
It does, yeah.
'cause
But I feel like
like,
it's really distilled on Instagram.
People probably watch us on
Yeah,
like our
it is.
vlogs and stuff because it's stuff that they might not do, or like
And obviously we edit out the boring bits.
yeah,
Where we're just sat here,
try to.
like, all right, should we record? And
Yeah.
turn on the cameras and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
What should we record? I don't know. I just got to check our emails for like an invoice, that kind of thing. People don't want to see that. Some people do,
Yeah.
and they want the camera on us all the time. But
Like when you picture like someone like Casey Neistat, who's like super high energy all the time on his
Yeah.
videos and stuff, and you know, I imagine meeting him in real life, he's probably just a bit more kind of subdued, just in
And then you
like,
gotta hype
not as
yourself up, yeah.
hyped and stuff.
I'm not
Whereas
like
I don't know,
this.
I'm using it as an example, but like people will probably be a lot more, I don't know, on show when they're on social media platforms.
You want to show the best of yourself for like if there's a camera on us and we
Yeah.
know there's someone watching us, you're gonna act completely differently from when you know you're alone or amongst people that don't care about what you look like right now.
Yeah.
So and
And
I
the
feel
key
like
is to not give a shit, really, if you're actually doing
it's
that
hard
stuff.
not to.
It's hard not to, yeah.
Like
if you
Smith
don't give a
says.
shit,
But if
you
you
also don't make
You don't
things
participate.
special. Yeah, you don't
I
participate. I
guess
don't
so,
think.
yeah. But there's
Like-
a charm in it. Like there are some people online who just aren't that first. Like oh fuck it. What's his name? Capaldi, Lewis Capaldi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like he's like not your stereotypical pop star or
Right.
singer or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And he'll put those dumb videos out where
It's got
he's
some
just
funny stuff, right?
talking shit because he gives the impression that he doesn't give a fuck,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what people like because it's real. And it's
Again,
like,
like-
fuck yeah, he's just sat on a shitter talking about how much money he's going to get from #1 album, which you would do behind the door, like behind closed doors. Oh fuck, I'm going to make loads of money because I'm just a #1 album 2 weeks in a row. It's amazing. But he's just taking the piss, and that's more relatable, and I like that.
Yeah, and that's good. But
Prefer
also
that.
at the same time, he's got the talent of being extremely funny.
Yeah,
And
all
a good
those-
singer.
all
and a good
those-
singer. Yeah, he's got talent.
All those other times where he's not being funny and he's just going about his life, you don't see that.
Yeah.
Again, that's another angle of it, but it's not
Yeah.
as extreme as like the Instagram with the champagne and the
Yeah,
private
yeah.
jet. But Lewis Capaldi's showing his best jokes on Instagram.
Yeah.
Do you think that you have to be talented to be happy?
To be
Not
like
necessarily.
no,
I think
don't
there's probably
so.
various ways.
Do you think people who
measure
are
happiness.
talented in specific ways that are suitable for our current walk of life, like singers, beautiful people, things like that, are less happy than those who aren't talented?
I think so.
It's probably a pressure to
There's more pressure, yeah. 'Cause
find happiness because obviously, like, you know, even what we do, like sometimes you're like, oh, I'm not really fussed to play games today or something. Anybody pick anyone out of the audience and they'll be like, oh, I do that every day of the week. I do it, you know, until I died, and it's just
you
like,
should be thankful for what you have.
you know, but they don't do that, so they don't actually know what that's like. So you know, Kylie Jenner could be crying every night because she hates her fucking life, but she's, you know, a billionaire with everything you would imagine somebody would want.
How
And I
can
wouldn't
you
want
be?
a house,
How
it
can
looks
you be
fucking shit.
unhappy with all these things?
Yeah.
But you're still human,
Yeah.
and you're still subjected to emotions and things going wrong
Yeah.
when you're not doing the work you're doing and enjoying yourself. Yeah, things
I think
happen.
more happiness comes from the people you decide to like spend your time with.
Yeah,
I
but yeah,
think,
going back to
I think,
More
I
so.
think money gives people the feeling of freedom to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
However, I don't think it necessarily facilitates that, and I think ultimately freedom to do what you want is what gives you happiness, like, or what gives you satisfaction.
It gives you options,
I think,
I think, because
also overwhelms you, where it's like it's kind of like unlocking creative mode in Minecraft.
Oh, it is when you're very rich. I mean, like if you didn't have all that money,
right. Okay.
you know, like you could still.
Oh, you're driving yourself to get more. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that, like, I'm imagining, like, let's talk about somebody in a completely different country who doesn't give a fuck about Western media, right? So they're, let's say, to be more cliche as usual, like a rice paddy farmer or some shit, right?
Yeah.
They go out every day. They have their lot of land. They make enough to feed their family. And they sell a bit of it on the side to, like, you know, buy the odd essential that they can't make or farm, right? We have no real way of measuring how happy that person is versus someone like Kylie Jenner, who's a billionaire.
Yeah.
However, I think we've been conditioned to think that more money equals more freedom, which potentially means more happiness.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily true.
No.
However, now our society is so geared towards making money, we can't get out of that system. We can't break the mold. We can't, you know, when we were talking about universal basic income,
Oh yeah.
we can't not work, or we can't not want to be
That's it.
monetarily
Or be-
successful.
The
At
moment
least-
you're born, you then you're in the capitalist system here, and you have to get a job eventually.
Go
and
through
you
the
have to pay your
education
way.
system.
Yeah, and
And don't get me wrong, I love...
You're forced into the system, yeah.
I love what money's brought us. You know, like we got really awesome computers. We get to travel everywhere. We get to go on business class flights and all that sort of shit.
Doesn't mean you have days where you're not happy.
Exactly. It doesn't, and it also doesn't mean that I wouldn't necessarily be happy doing something completely different. But I have no idea. And
Maybe
the only
you could be a
rule
rice
set-
paddy farmer.
Yeah, or I could be, you know, some other walk of life. You know, like maybe I could be a fireman or something like that, or a policeman, and get loads of satisfaction from that. I could be a nurse,
The thing is,
a
like,
health worker.
again, because we're exposed to our culture, and we know, like, if I go to become a fireman, I know loads of people that have done it, and I'm exposed to the news and the thing and the society that firemen are placed in this hierarchy in our society. Are they as respected as a policeman? Should I be a policeman instead because policemen are more revered? Or should I go to the US? Actually, no, policemen aren't as revered there because they're constantly told that they're racist and shoot people all the time. There's like constantly like comparing and competing against other career paths. It's like, I'm not going to get as much money if I'm a doctor or blah, 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 you know.
And do you think
it's hard to be totally disconnected and just enjoy the job for the job's
or enjoy
sake.
your life?
Yeah.
Like I think it's hard to, because we now know what so many people are doing all the time and seeing images of it and things like that. I think it definitely leaves less space in your life to think about what you're doing. Like, because when you're seeing what everybody else is doing so often
and comparing it all the time.
Yeah.
It's like you can't just have a life where that's not aspiring to be anything more than your own happiness. You have to do something to leave a mark or rise above and do better than you're currently doing. You can't just enjoy what you've got.
No, you can't.
It's interesting. Wow, I don't know who said it. There was a quote last week I saw saying something about considering how quickly you're forgotten when you're dead. It was a Christopher Walken. That was it. I'll find the actual quote. So it's
Christopher
bit
running.
more.
Nice. Got a joke in there because this is quite serious.
That sounds like Christopher talking.
Nice.
Okay, decent.
Even better.
Okay, maybe it's a tweet, but he basically said that, like, live your life today and do what you want, because ultimately when you're dead, people are going to forget you. People are going to you're not around.
Abuse my dog.
You know what?
No, I don't.
This is the thing.
So
But there's still rules, and there's still rules that we can't necessarily control.
Yeah.
You know, like and this is why
it's easy for a wealthy man who's done all this stuff,
Yeah,
whatever, to be like, just live your life, do whatever you want. But like, ultimately, there are ways people can try and fulfill their own personal goals and stuff. But
like for me,
they're restricted by maybe family or the job they're in and stuff. But maybe there are options. You know,
I'm quite a private guy. I enjoy quiet time, and I don't particularly go out of my way to book travel things like you do. I think you live for those experiences outside and going somewhere new, and I don't really like. I guess I have anxieties of going somewhere new because it's the fear of the unknown, and therefore that doesn't seem as I couldn't get as much happiness out of planning and doing that versus spending time at home with my dog and my girlfriend. I feel like I could get a lot out of that for a long time and be a very happy person without any pressures of society telling me that you're not doing anything with your life. I feel like I could get a lot out of that, and if I don't travel for my whole life, I'd be content. But there's a lot of pressures from other like sources saying you're not experiencing what life has to offer for you. You have to go to all these different countries to at least make the most of your life, and
then you live in someone
things.
else's life, someone else's dream.
It's like, I'm doing these things, and I've experienced amazing things. At the same time, though, I get just as much happiness doing the boring things that people think is a waste of time. So,
like Dota 2.
Like Dota 2.
But if you, that's the thing. Like, you know, it may seem mundane to other people, but if you
I'm
enjoy
happy
it, you enjoy it.
It doesn't matter, and I'm not hurting anybody.
As long as you keep it to yourself. Yeah.
Me and my dog.
But then, are you saying that you think that social pressures kind of make you feel like you have to do, you know, be this entertainer, be this kind of like guy online?
At the same time, I fucking love doing this,
Yeah.
and therefore I will step outside my comfort zone to do something that I know ultimately after the fact I'll be like, I'm so glad I did that.
Secondhand fun.
Yeah, and it's rewarding, and it's nice to have an archive of the cool things that I've done in my life, and I'm proud of doing them. At the same time, though, I could easily just stop doing that, stop doing the travel, and just enjoy what I have.
But do you not think doing the things that you wouldn't necessarily do are the things that give you the feeling of appreciation for when you're having that quiet time, that downtime.
I think so. Yeah.
Do you
there's a
think that if
balance
you
there.
had permanent downtime, you wouldn't
I'm
necessarily
probably bounce against the walls.
Yeah, like for me
Yeah.
at least, like when I go to the gym, for example, like I'll come back, like most nights after work, I'll come home and do the same sort of things, like maybe watch something, maybe play a game, eat some food. But like say I go to the gym for an hour and a half and then come back, I feel like I've
achieve something.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to enjoy that time watching something, having something to eat.
Earned it.
Because
Right,
I
I
feel like I've earned it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And also because it's just that contrast of like, I feel like crap when I'm at the gym.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, not, I don't necessarily feel like crap, but like I'm
Yeah,
feeling
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm pushing
more
myself.
Exhausted
at the
from
gym.
working out, yeah.
And then you get that sort of buzz, and there is a chemical element to it. There's a hormonal element to
Yeah.
that. Like it's good endorphins and all that sort of shit. But then those endorphins are triggered by many things. It might be going to the gym, it might be a can of Coke, it might be some awesome music you're listening to.
Yeah.
So like,
Or maybe it is important to like do the opposite sometimes to appreciate
to what you want
have.
to do. Yeah, and it's really hard to motivate yourself to do that. Like I don't
Yeah.
go to the gym enough. Yeah.
Which is why I
Yeah.
do appreciate the job that we have and the
Yeah.
fact that you plan all these things
Yeah.
so that it's like, okay, let's do this. And
Yeah,
once it's done.
it's stuff that we wouldn't normally think of to
Yeah.
do, or like we would
I
probably
would
wouldn't
never
go on
put
whitewater
myself-
rafting or
If it's on
scuba
my
diving.
own, I would never do these things
Mm.
ultimately. But because I'm put in those situations, it's very enjoyable.
Well, Craig was
And if
pulled
I was
into
on
one.
my own, I probably wouldn't have the money to do any of those things.
Well, that's it, exactly. Yeah, I mean, Craig was pulled into the situation out of the blue. He's never done any of that stuff before. And he
Craig's
was,
here.
Did you
I'm
enjoy
here.
it, Craig?
I did enjoy it, yeah.
In the end,
It's
yeah.
one of those things where, much like Trott, where I go out of my comfort zone if it's those kind of things that I'd never normally do.
Mm.
But it's one of those things like once you've done it, you've got that kind of, it's almost like a rush of, wow, I can't believe I've done something that would never have even
In
considered.
hindsight,
doing.
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's like
Even
I-
when we're doing it, it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And once you've done it, you're like, fuck, like I'm proud of myself for doing something out of my comfort zone.
And what you were
Um,
saying about the Christopher Walken thing, like
Yeah.
you were saying, like, do what you can do because nobody's going to remember you when you're dead.
Yeah.
Like, I actually think about not people remembering me after I'm dying, but actually one of my biggest motivators is to become a person that I feel like deserves to live the life that we live and that deserves to live the life that I've had. So
Right.
like,
not be an asshole.
Well, how do you want to be remembered? Is I guess another thing. Like,
well, I don't really care.
if you
about
do want to get
remembering.
remembered, is there something you want to do in life that you want to be remembered by people, or do you just want to live your life, fuck everyone else,
The
and
man
just
who
do what
pissed
you
on
want to
Trump.
do?
So this is the opposite thing. I want to try and be the best person I can be using the particular experiences that we've had. Like you were saying, you're never going to be able to live somebody else's life exactly. Like you were saying, like
You don't want to.
Yeah,
But you
there's
cut
the
your
classic-
sold as if you do want to. That's the thing.
Yeah. But if
Yeah.
you've seen the bandwagon, you've already missed it. Is a great one. Like if you see someone doing well at something,
Yeah.
like it's likely that you're not going to be able to do the exact same thing and get the same success because somebody else has already done it, right? So like, it's more about for me like working out what experiences and what things that we've done and seen, like and how those experiences and skills and knowledge can help other people, or perhaps share it with a few select people that I think like it'd be great for my family to succeed in this certain way or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know. It
is strange to say because we get a lot of emails and messages of people who say that they've been watching us for years and they love our stuff, and it's hard for us to kind of like imagine that because obviously we are the ones making this content, and a dumb Gmail video or whatever, you never expect it to have an impact on someone else's life.
Mhm.
But like I feel like we probably wouldn't have kept up daily videos if that wasn't in the back of my mind anyway. Like I know that like, oh shit, if we
Making
miss
it.
these videos, like sure, like revenue's down, so it wouldn't make a huge financial dent, but it'd be more of those people. There are people waiting for that content and stuff, and like I kind of feel like
You owe it to them.
I guess owe it to them to a degree, but like there's people looking forward to that, and I want to make sure that
That
we
drives
do,
you,
and that
yeah.
drives me more than the finance side, because YouTube's taking a huge shitter and it's a massive dip. Like most people are moving to Twitch and stuff, and that makes sense, but I think there's a lot of people who just want to see our stuff, and that motivates me more, I think.
We've got a Patreon.
Yeah, we do have Patreon now.
Well, like when just before we started the podcast again, I was saying like I think the biggest thing that sort of scares me is becoming obsolete, becoming no one again. Like
Sure,
I mean,
yeah.
we're not by any means A-class celebrities or anything like that, but
I wouldn't want to be.
have no
God damn,
absolutely,
like
yeah.
I said this yesterday to my girlfriend that I'm kind of glad I can just go to the shops and not be harassed or like
Yeah.
because when that occasional thing
Speak for
happens, it's a
yourself.
bit weird. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to
Mobbed
just not be able to
every
go
day.
out. Like imagine being PewDiePie. Fuck that. Like fuck,
Yeah.
man. You can't
But-
go anywhere.
but it's
I'm
nice.
trying.
It's isolating as fuck.
But it's nice to get those likes. More specifically, I enjoy getting replies to my tweets. Like I like
Right.
tweeting something and seeing what people say about it, like
Have a
people's
reaction, yeah.
opinions, right? Like that's awesome. And
you
I
have a voice that means something to other people.
Exactly, and I feel like I'm trying my best to try and make that voice as beneficial and as good for the world as I think it should be. Right?
Let's see how good for the world it is.
Is
So
that
what was
only
my last tweet?
Is that in terms of like how are you thinking that in terms of like politics or just I want to make someone laugh, so I'll
Everything.
say something dumb like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a blend, right? Because you've got to be interesting and funny for people to care about your opinion.
Sure. Yeah.
And therefore, then so you need to balance it a little bit. Not that I'm thinking about that, but yeah, like
So, in
Or-
your latest tweet from a day ago,
Yeah.
to benefit the world,
yeah.
you say, in response to the woman spinning violently from a helicopter.
Oh god damn yeah! Oh,
The-
can we bring that clip up? We have to show that clip. Like it's
You
part of the funny
say-
news stories.
In
But
quote, fairly sure this qualifies this woman as an astronaut, and you are
Yeah.
benefiting the world with this.
Like,
Look how
she-
many replies.
okay.
You got 23 replies,
Yeah,
Trott.
yeah.
People will really
You made
engage.
people happy.
click on the link.
Click
Yeah,
on that
like, I
link.
really want to see that spin. I mean, obviously,
Did you see this,
for the
Craig?
audience? There's
She's fine, by the way.
there's
Yeah.
a clip
Just
of a
so you know.
woman who's getting rescued.
She's 70 years old. She was injured
70.
and was getting an airlift out of there.
So she's on one of those stretchers that helicopters use to lift
Yeah.
people up, but it's just fucking spinning.
starting to match the rotation of the blades, man.
Yeah.
It's getting faster and faster, and
It's just out of control.
Oh,
It gets really
God,
fast.
it's going really
It gets
fast.
faster
The guy
than-
He's
with it,
desperately trying to stop it with his
just trying
legs,
to
and like
stop
he
it.
can't stop it. Oh my god, this is ridiculous.
What do you even
But
do in that scenario? She's just so
Just
fast.
leave it. What are they doing now? Like, what are these guys saying?
They're,
Like, fucking hell,
they're
she's
thinking,
really
should we
going.
lower her, or should we lower her down, or go back up? I think they went up, didn't
How
they?
does
She kept
physics
spinning.
work?
That is a
That's so
74-year-old
fast.
woman.
That's so fast.
Yeah, if you're listening. You
Oh
need
my
to see- you
god!
need to
Oh
find
my
this-
god! It's so I haven't got this far in the video.
It's so continuous. Like, I mean,
Holy fucking shit!
God
my
damn.
god.
See,
I
so
didn't realise it
but
got
yeah,
that
see,
far.
it's an impressive video.
I
That's-
tweeted that, Trott.
Yeah.
You know, like just for people like you to really,
Exactly.
brighten your day to see this fucking 74-year-old injured
Yeah.
woman spinning at a ridiculous rate.
I think she was
just
alright
feel
in the
hap-
end,
I'm
right?
happy that
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
fine,
she
yeah.
was
Just
fine in
dizzy.
the end. Oh, they're still flying off with her spinning.
Although to be fair,
Just
yeah, they just flew off.
Yeah,
after
yeah,
all. They're
there
like,
they go.
fuck it, we can't stop
I
it.
think that's the only way to do it, though,
Oh, that's
right?
great.
It's like create some resistance with wind.
I have no
I couldn't
idea.
tell you. I
I
couldn't
mean, we
tell
could
you.
try it in GTA if you want
Yeah.
and see if
Yeah.
it spins, but I don't
Solid
think
physics simulation.
that is real. And that
Yeah.
looks
Well,
like
hold on.
fun.
There's dinner time with Dorita there, Trott.
Oh, that's nice.
See, I've noticed an increase in your lizards since Trott got
Yeah,
his dog,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
and I've seen
Oh,
Duncan post a
mine.
few more as well. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's a
It's a war.
conspiracy.
It's
going
a
on.
it's
Is
a
it
shadow
pet,
war.
Is it pet
It's a
envy
pet. I don't maybe
or pet?
because I
popular-
guess maybe it was the fact that nobody really knew about your pets as much.
Pets, they're so hot right now.
But,
like,
This is a pretty
they're so
good
hot.
video.
They're so
yeah,
hot
I
right
was
now.
feeding my bearded dragon different kinds of fruit.
I like how he reacts to things. It takes him a while.
Whilst
Yeah.
Trott was at Muse last night, I looked after Mochi.
Yeah,
and,
he did.
She did
My
three
dog.
little nuggets on the floor,
Yeah.
little poop nuggets.
She doesn't like you.
Did you eat them?
I don't think it was about me specifically. She did try to eat one.
Did you
She
try
went
to
for
eat
it. Did I try to eat one? No, I was tempted. They looked like little
Tasty.
chocolate nuggets.
Chocolate
but,
treats.
Truffles.
I'm thinking
truffles.
of training Mochi just to fall asleep and lie there while we
Okay.
do hat chats.
Yeah, I mean, she has so much energy. It's hard
She
to
does.
hard to tame her.
She'll quiet down. She's
But,
just a puppy.
It looks like he's going through my tweets now. I mean, there was one which I made about toilet seats, which
Are
I thought
you-
was quite funny. But that's just because I was literally buying a toilet seat.
Went toilet seat shopping today. I was only looking for something bog standard, of course, shot of toilet.
Just a
seat.
total dad joke.
Very good.
But that's what sprang to mind. I mean, you don't often go toilet seat shopping, so.
See, that has more engagement than my spinny work.
Oh, you see,
It's
yeah.
because everyone else
That
has
was-
seen
that's
that.
original,
Probably
yeah, that-
retweeted
yours
someone
have
else
been
doing it.
Yeah, it was very
Yours have
popular.
done the
That's
rounds.
unique.
Yeah, it wasn't
That's,
original. It wasn't
that's
original.
OG.
For me. Oh, look, there I am as a woman and as pretty much terps on the top one. Dear God, I was like, yeah, I'm ugly as a woman too.
See, I
which-
didn't do any of that because I was.
We were
I'm
in the
just
airport.
Thinking, like,
That was in the airport when we were waiting for Craig for 2 hours, and I was just bored.
Bored, yeah.
but I was worried that it's going to be. You remember that there was a face swap app that was just stealing everyone's faces.
Oh, that
Like-
was the
like-
The other
Japanese one, wasn't it? Or
Yeah,
Chinese
where
one?
it does like old, young. It's like
Yeah.
Always
four
the Chinese
seconds.
apps.
It's always
Always
the
the
Chinese.
Chi-
Well, because they know the
what's that
value of this
Yeah,
shit. You know, like.
Don't worry, they're helping us install 5G.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Wow, it's out now. Isn't it?
But
fine.
like for me, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be another one of those things where it's just everyone has everything on you, and it's like,
Yeah.
Alex Smith from the UK in Bristol. Yes, let's check our database from that app we made and stole
Yeah.
everyone's faces from.
Terrifying technology.
Yes.
I'm terrified. Okay, well, do you want to do some funny news? I've got loads
Sure,
of funny
yeah,
news.
let's
This thing.
lighten the mood.
Now, we've got
That
quite a
spinning
few
got us
things.
back.
The spinning thing was great. So there's ear bitten off in rescue attempt, which is
What?
actually I've put these as
I'm just
headlines.
baffled.
Um,
Man wearing only under. Okay. Just
I should have put that bit. Yeah.
disable ad blocker. Frick.
Man wearing
That's
only
fine.
underwear allegedly bites man's ears off in Crenshaw County.
Yeah,
Yeah.
singular, not both.
Just one.
Was he on like?
A man dressed only in his underwear
bar salts or
allegedly bit an
something?
elderly man's ear off Wednesday
Right.
after the victim tried to help him after a wreck. Because in a
Right.
car wreck.
That's just kind of sad.
Why would you bite him? That's when Wilson. Okay, hang on.
Probably not.
He wrecked his vehicle, which became submerged in a creek. An elderly man went to help out Wilson, who'd been flagging down
Bit his
cars
ear.
at the side of the wreck.
Oh, fuck.
That's when Wilson allegedly jumped into the elderly victim's truck, bit his face, and bit the victim's ear off.
Sounds like bath salts.
That does, doesn't it? What the fuck?
Or just like.
We
some-
should try bar salts to find out why it makes you.
Do you
wanna
think
eat
so?
it.
Yeah,
Or just do like a Vice-style investigative
Yeah.
journalism, like all take bar
And we
salts.
should be locked in a room with Craig, who hasn't taken any.
Yeah. And he's like, all right, guys.
He's still feeling all right. He's
I've
starting
never
to get
not
jittery.
taken any.
there's a great Dutch YouTube show. I think it's called Drugs Lab, where they take drugs, like different kinds of
I think
drugs,
I've
and then
seen-
they talk
there's
about it
YouTube channels that do that
on
as well.
camera, and I find
Like
that
while
super
high,
interesting.
or-
Yeah. So they'll be like, right, today we're taking MDMA. Right, so one person takes it, the other person doesn't, and
How do
they're
they
like,
get away with that?
"How do you feel?" Don't know.
Where is it?
It's Dutch.
Oh.
I think the show is Dutch. Most of the cast is
know.
Dutch.
It's illegal.
On YouTube, there's loads of people do that.
But that's
they'll
really-
take drugs and they'll kind of like start rating how they're feeling.
I
And
mean,
stuff.
that's informative,
Yeah,
but it's illegal, right? So how are they
Yeah.
getting away with that?
I don't know. Well,
How
do
do the general public get away with like getting hold of these things?
Well, you can get drugs. You can get drugs like that for medical purposes. So maybe they had a license from the Dutch government to do it. I think it's
MDMA?
great because, yeah, or loads of drugs. There's all sorts of. They don't try heroin for obvious reasons and things like that. But like things that aren't necessarily highly addictive.
Seems like something I want to Google now.
It's really
Man
interesting.
does
I
heroin.
thought you were going to say get into.
But it's interesting because it
Something for
educates
Live
you.
Leak.
It tells you about like what happens with drugs, right? Like,
Yeah, that's
like-
useful.
Like
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you'll learn more than you would do because
by just
I
avoiding.
think
them.
more often than not, the government will try scare tactics and just say that you'll basically just
what was
You'll
the 60s experiment?
die and
Oh, that was the MK Ultra. Is that what
MK
you're talking
Ultra,
about?
yeah.
Using
Better than
LSD.
MK Ultra.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like just doing it because you want to do it.
Yeah.
Because
you
you're
have people
forced
doing
to.
microdoses
Yeah.
of LSD
Yeah,
and stuff,
to, like,
and
keep
testing
you
out kind of how that
focused.
affects someone's focus and stuff.
People microdose like LSD and things like that.
But these
because
things
apparently-
won't get funding, so like no one's going to legitimately fund it. So they
Well,
have to kind of do it themselves, really.
Well,
Like,
MDMA has been used on PTSD victims in
yeah.
the
So is
US.
ket, I think ketamine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we just need more research, and so things like this helps.
Yeah.
But that's the
Well,
thing.
this-
Yeah, that's the
but-
thing.
So this is what we were saying
Because they're
about
illegal.
censorship earlier. This is the problem now because we've got certain things that are just straight up banned. We have no idea the potential positive effects. So psilocybin, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, is being used to microdose to help people with depression. Because one of the things that it can help you do, and this is, I can't quote any sources here, but like basically,
That's hat chat.
it's a drug that helps that causes people to challenge their perspectives, right? So when you're tripping balls on magic mushrooms, the world seems different to you. You experience it differently. And one of the ideas behind why it may help people with depression, anxiety, PTSD, things like that, is because it knocks them out of their regular thinking rhythm, right? So
Right.
so it knocks them out of their way of thinking, their state of mind, and
See it from a
perhaps-
different perspective.
Exactly, it gives it almost like a breath of fresh air. Like, say every single day you think in the same way, or you have the same feelings and thoughts and different. But when you completely change your perspective like that, when you challenge the way you think using something like psilocybin for encouragement, it can actually help you see the world differently and go, maybe things aren't so shit. Or and it actually has. Like, people have it has been used to treat depression.
What they need to do is find a way for someone that's very anxious about taking drugs and therefore would have a bad trip
Yeah.
from having that. Like, how do you get the
Yeah.
benefits when you're going in like, this is terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
What do you
tricky.
do then?
Well,
It's more about dosage, I guess.
need more
and
research.
actual control, and obviously because it's illegal, you don't know how safe it is. And
Yeah.
that's the worrying part. Like, people don't know what they're taking, but some
True.
people are just like, fuck it, and they'll go for it.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's
Like
not,
Ross
not that much
gets
money.
that strap on.
Well, he
Well,
loves
strap-ons
fentanyl, bless him, don't you? You love it. Fentanyl.
Single grain.
Love
Just
it.
a grain.
Just a grain.
Under the
that'll do
tongue.
you.
Let's get another funny news.
Yeah.
Man charged with child porn over sex doll. He says he bought it to replace his dead son.
Oh my god, that's not funny at all.
That's insane.
That's not funny at all.
I mean, it's kind of fucked up.
It has child
It is
porn
fucked
and
up.
dead.
I mean, it's
Son.
not actually. I don't know if he's
How's
actually
that
used
funny?
it. Has he? Well, I found it quite. I read the headline. I was like, "Fucking that is pretty funny." But let's see. A man facing child pornography charges for ordering a child-sized sex doll.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it is.
It's only.
sad.
Oh my god, was it a child? Why is it a sex doll?
He bought,
That's the.
I guess he
Liz-
got it from the wrong website.
They've gone through a massive bereavement.
Hang on, let me find
and
where
they-
it is.
gone
Yeah.
what, like a
So they bought
physical
a doll.
Yeah.
to replace
Right.
his son.
But
yeah.
the reason
I'm
they've
just
done
trying to figure out
such
why
a,
it's a sex doll.
to us, bizarre thing is because they were so bereaved.
It was
Oh.
a child sex doll. That's
Harrison
probably why.
testified Monday that he did not intend to have sex with the doll.
What?
He didn't intend to,
Yeah.
but did he?
You probably did, yeah.
I mean, that's.
I mean, if
We-
you're
we
that
don't
funny,
know.
Craig's fucking loving that. No, yeah, so he bought a doll. Well, you surely you can get a doll from anywhere, and that's not a sexual toy.
Yeah. I mean,
he probably bought a really realistic one.
benefit the doubt.
Why is it all sex related? Why? Who's making these sex dolls?
Huh? Loads of people.
A child sex doll?
Probably.
Just get a bit of Sculpey.
Oh,
Make your
that's
own.
fucked up.
All right, thought experiment. Which
Oh,
would you
no.
rather?
Oh,
You know what I'm
going
gonna say?
You've said it before.
Do you not agree though?
What is it?
Remember,
I won't say it.
please,
I mean,
please subscribe.
yeah, I'm just.
You said you think it's better that a paedophile would have that rather than.
I don't think
which,
this. First of all, I don't think this guy's a paedophile. I think he's someone. Who's
No,
gone through
of course,
bereavement
yeah,
and
yeah.
has got mental problems now.
Sure.
But yeah, that's
It's
my
not
general
funny
stance.
at all.
But the fact that that exists is still
Charles
quite
not
shocking.
happy.
It's not funny.
Right. Next thing. Anything
Where do
good?
you think he would order that from? Oh, there's
Why, why are you
I'm
so
just-
obsessed with where they're coming from?
Just so I know, what's the
How
website?
the hell? Okay, so there's worst. Oh no, that's. There's a genital flesh-eating thing here,
That sounds
which
delicious.
sounds.
Diabetes.
What's the fuck is barrel travel? Why did I
Your
put that?
diabetes drug linked to flesh-eating genital infection.
Ah.
Wow. Your privacy matters to us. Here's some cookies.
Fuck's sake. Why is this one called chicken
Say you have
pox
type
prick?
2 diabetes and you're taking a newer
These are
class of
old.
medications to treat your disease, but one day you notice pain, redness, and a foul odor in your genital area. It's a flesh-eating disease,
It's a flesh-eating.
and it's tearing apart your balls.
Oh,
Wow, imagine
just,
that.
Just the balls?
Unfortunately,
Your
it's become
genital
rare, but still
area.
possible.
Genital
Right,
and
why is-
anal region.
I knew a class of interest. Yeah.
Fornia gangrene.
Fornia gangrene.
Right.
And you get that from this drug?
Well, yeah. Well, no. What probably happens
Okay.
is they're taking this.
Alex,
We should get a doctor on.
They're
but
taking
we've got
this in-
Smith. It's fine.
They're taking this inhibitor.
Yeah.
So they're taking a drug that inhibits a certain action in the body.
To help
Yeah.
remove
However,
dead tissue. That's what
That
it says.
action probably also has some relation to the potential for you to get this gangrene. So this gangrenous thing, this gangrenous illness, is probably occurring because whatever they're
You're exposed.
inhibiting in
Yeah.
the body to treat diabetes
Mhm.
is also related to whatever your skin normally
Allowing-
does to
allowing
prevent that from
gangrene.
happening.
Yeah.
Like, so that's what it is. It's a side effect.
Right.
Sucks, doesn't it?
It's a shit side effect.
Yeah.
Really sucks.
That's what I
So
think.
the
of.
SGLT2 inhibitor works in the kidneys, allowing excess blood sugar to be removed in the urine.
Mm.
In addition to lowering blood levels, drugs may also reduce the risk. Can you scroll down? Reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke. So that's another good thing. But possible side effects include urinary tract infections and genital infections, such as yeast infections. Kidney problems can also be a concern.
It's quite a gamble,
like-
isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that sucks, but it feels a bit like fear mongering.
What would you rather, your balls or your heart?
Well, diabetes type 2 can cause limbs to drop off.
Ah,
as well.
simple question.
What would I rather, the balls or the heart?
Yeah.
The balls.
Okay.
It's not going to kill you, is it?
It's frustrating.
I just want to die.
I just wanted to know.
Yeah, I mean, knowing that things like this are out there.
I'd rather be dead.
Yeah, yeah.
What was it? I think it was Donnie Darko. There's a quote where he was just like, "I'd rather be dead if I didn't have my dick," or something. I was like, "Fuck, what?"
Rather be
Which is kind of
dead.
dumb.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess that would be.
You can just
Annoying.
get a robo dick. Right?
You can.
It'd be
Oh,
grey
well,
joint.
Prosthetic.
prosthetic, or maybe use pig skin or lab-grown meat.
Get an impossible dick.
An impossible dick.
It's the impossible
A
dick.
replacement
It
penis.
tastes so good.
It's so much like a dick. The
like-
texture is
But
exactly
it's
the
all
same.
plant-based.
It's a plant-based penis.
Because I don't think there's anything you can do to actually extend the size of your penis. And goddamn, have I researched.
200 junks a day.
People put silicon like into their
Oh,
their
like
knob
Botox.
to make it look bigger, but it basically just goes wider.
What about just using
And-
human growth hormone
It doesn't really work that well.
on penises?
Basically, they've said that there's nothing that
I guess
really
there's no
works. You
muscles
can't
in
just
the
like
dick,
cut
is
it in half and like kind of extend it with something and then just put it back.
a scaffolding job.
A scaffold. Oh, it's the old scaffold job. Push a button and there it is. It's like, oh,
Because you can get like balloons and things like that where you push
Yeah.
a button if you have erectile dysfunction
Yeah.
and things like that. So
Really?
why not just get a
yeah.
bigger
You
balloon?
push a little button. underneath.
Just get a bigger balloon to
The gooch
stretch
button.
it out.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Never
Yeah.
even heard of that.
Have you not?
And then
I just struggle to
and
see
then,
how a balloon would help with erectile
it
dysfunction.
helps.
It
'cause
feels
like,
on the inside.
Oh,
Is it feels when it feels like a tube and it just
nice.
so on off.
It's like one of those life jackets that goes off. When you
Yeah,
get
it's,
cold
yeah, it's a
water.
fucking
Top up.
like in your scuba jacket.
Do you like any more? Or is
Bit
this
bigger.
fine?
It's gonna pop. The pressure's too high.
The outside skin.
I
of the
can go bigger.
The skin of the penis is just like almost transparent at that
It's
point.
an industrial
Like, God,
compressor.
it's so
Oh,
it's
I
on
can
the
push her a
verge.
little bit further. Just a tiny little bit.
I can go to
Fucking
8
hell.
One more
inches.
psi.
God.
Fucking hell. That sounds horrible. I don't want that to happen to
Gangrene.
anyone.
No, don't want that. But I do want a balloon in my dick.
You do?
And it to be made out of impossible meat if I were to lose it.
Oh man.
So there was a chicken pox prick that
Yeah.
I put on here. I don't know why I've called it that.
Because he's a prick.
It says a student sued because he didn't want the chicken pox vaccine.
Then he got chicken pox.
Then he got chicken pox,
Right.
which is just like the ultimate karma,
That's karma,
and
yeah.
kind of just
Fuck off! Is that?
pretty
Well,
dumb.
how are they suing? What are they basing that on?
right, a Kentucky
2 months
teen
after
who
going
was
to court over
sued-
chickenpox
Who
policy.
sued, rather, when he was
There we go.
banned from school for not getting a chickenpox vaccine, ended up getting the chickenpox. Jerome Kunkel's attorney says he got it last week, he recovered, and returned to school yesterday, but he had already missed 7 weeks of his senior year.
It's kind of ridiculous because, they issued the ban for the 21 days, and then, of course, it got extended longer because another kid came down with the chicken pox, so then it went on for longer. Then finally, towards the end of the ban, I actually got the chicken pox, which should have extended the ban, but for some reason they didn't.
I don't understand. So they banned him because he wasn't vaccinated against chickenpox.
Yeah.
But we don't get vaccinated against chickenpox in the UK.
We
just
just
get
get it when we're younger,
Yeah.
and then that's enough, right?
Yeah. You become.
I guess maybe
immunised
there
to it.
probably isn't a vaccine in the sense that if you never had it as a kid, then.
But the nice thing
'cause
about
it turns into isn't
can turn into shingles.
Shingles, which
but
is
you're more
bad
likely
for an
to
adult.
get shingles as an adult if you
Yeah.
don't have chickenpox as a kid.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
and it can
Safer to-
shingles is much more dangerous than chickenpox.
Have we all had
chickenpox
chickenpox?
pies, don't they?
Have you had chickenpox?
Yeah,
Yep.
Have you had chicken? Yeah.
Yep.
Me too.
Got a scar on my hand just there from it.
itching like a madman.
Oh, you do.
It was itchy
Yeah.
as shit, but I was a little kid at the time, so I'm not.
Yeah,
fussed.
it's
You had chickenpox, Craig?
I'm kind of
I
glad.
have, yeah, but it's like recently someone in my family had chickenpox, my cousin's son, and then because they were obviously off school, a lot of other parents brought their kids around to play with the kids so that they would
Yeah.
get chickenpox.
Yeah,
so-
like Ross said.
He has.
Yeah.
He
Chicken-
made
chickenpox
10
party.
new friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Chickenpox parties. They are a thing.
It's good to have as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you haven't got
well, it's
it,
not good.
go
but
play
it's
with-
great. You can't avoid it in
better than
in-
shingles.
in life. So, yeah, I mean, you still can get shingles from. So my
I think it's just reduced your chances, right?
little tidbit: my mum was pregnant with my brother when I had chickenpox. My brother was then immune to chickenpox.
Oh.
However, he then got shingles when he was a teenager.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So it's a fucking weird old world, isn't it?
Yeah, well.
Weird old world.
Weird old world.
Weird old world. Weird old world. Also, my brother's dumb as fuck. I don't know if they're
Wow.
related.
I don't know
No,
if
he's,
that's-
he's
that was
not.
definitely in the pregnancy
He's,
stage. Yeah.
he's smarter than I
He's
am.
the best Smith.
Yeah.
He's the best Smith.
So yeah.
We should get him on as a guest.
Okay,
To talk about his shingles.
So how did it feel? It was bitchy.
It
Shit.
sucked. Would you rather chickenpox?
But it
And
can
thank
it
your
can-
brother
it can
for
kill
that.
adults.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, shingles can kill you.
I don't know if I've
Very
got any more
unlikely.
funny. I mean, these aren't that funny.
No,
I've
but
kind
how
of run out
about
funny. There's French man arrives in Caribbean after crossing
Let's
Atlantic
start
in a giant
gathering
barrel.
some,
in a giant
Which
barrel?
it was just in a giant barrel.
That's insane. That's actually funny. What's that?
That's, the
barrel travel.
barrel
Do you just do
travel.
this for yourself? Just make the fun little titles?
It was a quick abbreviation before we started. Yeah.
You're no better than the
Oh
sun.
shit! So it's like a sponsored
It's
barrel.
literally a barrel. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
And inside is like his living quarters. How long was he in there for?
You just crossed the Atlantic
I spent
in a
more than
giant
4
barrel.
months floating across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah,
And a
man.
giant orange
That's messed
barrel has
up.
arrived at his Caribbean destination.
Where was it from?
France, I imagine.
France to the Caribbean in a barrel, a steel barrel.
He set off from the Canary Islands.
Oh, the
off the
inside's
coast of Africa.
amazing.
Oh god, yeah. But can you imagine that in high seas? Just getting rolled about.
Yeah, but he's got
I'd
straps.
still, yeah, fuck.
Guys,
mate.
that'd be fucking
scary as
miserable.
shit
Let's
as
do it.
well. Just like fuck.
Is that a gamer chair at the front?
Yeah.
That's a DX racer.
Oh,
right there.
That has a DX
God.
racer there, Trott.
It's got PewDiePie's chair?
No, I guess it's his captain seat to see how fucked he is.
Yeah.
Does he
Just
have
a
any
little
sort of...
porthole?
Well, this is the thing. I think that was there any
Wow.
kind of power in it? I don't think there is.
just went.
I mean, also, because he's just having to rely on currents. Like, he could just get washed right back into France.
Maybe that was the point.
It's about 10 foot long, 7 feet wide.
Mm-hmm.
Includes a small kitchen and a bed and space for storage. He fed himself
sort
on
of
fish
French.
caught from the ocean.
That's pretty sick.
He stowed away stowed away some wine and a block of
cheese?
foie gras.
Foie gras. Oh, right.
Foie gras.
Very, very calorific.
For New
Foie
Year's
gras.
Eve.
Classic
Amazing.
Frenchman eating the
How
foie
did he
gras.
power it though? I don't think he did.
Doesn't look powered.
It may be able to steer it.
I think has he been rowing it? No way. I don't even see any oars on this goddamn
There's a
thing.
little
It's-
hatch at the top where you can fish from. That's pretty cool.
It's nuts though, isn't it?
I mean, it's a crazy, crazy thing
Look
to
how
do.
many sponsorships he's
yeah,
got.
to only the force of current and winds.
That's
Without
nuts.
engine and without assistance.
That
So he's just literally just got in a fucking bottle. Like a
yeah, I
message in a bottle
I kind of
style.
like it. I
let's
think
go.
that's-
Let's see how far I can go. I mean,
That's our next live video, right?
so you just
I
get
mean-
washed up somewhere.
So
and-
he went across the Atlantic, like. Watch some videos of boats in high
yeah,
seas.
yeah.
Like that would have been miserable in a big in waves. Like he'd be rolling all over the place. It'd be literally like a roller coaster you couldn't get out of, like constantly.
that sounds like hell.
It,
that sounds
it
horrible.
would have
That
been
really
really
sounds-
hard. Like, whoa.
I wonder if he filmed. I mean, there's a few pictures of it, but I don't know if he would have filmed any of it on the way.
While
but
we're looking at that,
fair enough.
for our live audience, if there's any questions about what we talked about today and you want to ask them now, Craig will try his best to aggregate some, because we've got a few minutes left. But anyway, we can keep talking about the barrel while we get that.
The barrel's great.
The barrel.
Love it.
I mean, yeah, the barrel. I mean, I'm going to get myself one of those barrels here.
Travel
Can we put one in here?
Travel barrel.
I mean, I imagine it's probably not
Maybe
much
our
bigger than this table.
could be the barrel.
No.
No,
What do you mean? What, the size wise?
no, just
We can get a barrel 3 times the size of that.
and just have all three of us
Yeah.
in there, just fucking knocking about in high seas.
Man, I think we'd go crazy.
Why don't we just try
I
and
think on your own
barrel-
you'd go crazy, but with other people you go crazy quicker.
Violent crazy.
How about if
Yeah,
you just get
just
a
like
barrel?
stuck strangling someone. I'm in high seas. No one's gonna know. Obviously, they would have seen you set off. It would have been a celebration at the beginning.
International water.
And then when you
He's
arrive,
dead.
he died. I
There's
don't know where he
also,
is
like-
actually. We gave him a burial at sea.
The inside of the thing is just covered in shit.
I mean,
Just using
there's
it
no
like
camera. There's no camera. You could if you had an alliance with one of the other people,
Yeah.
you could off
Easy
someone and
to
say,
do,
well,
yeah.
he.
It's a hell of a way to get away from your wife, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he took a risk and swam with, in shark-infested waters, and
Yeah.
one got a bit too friendly, and he was buried at sea.
Oh,
That's a shame.
So rest in
What
peace,
a
Chris
shame.
Trott.
We should get one and just go down the Bristol Canal.
yeah.
Using the current, yeah.
Use
We
that
just
current.
probably hit the sides.
and get in the way of all the ferries.
Yeah, we'd
the
rely
kayakers.
on boats hitting.
What's
us.
this barrel doing in the middle of Bristol Canal?
So,
Just let it be.
why is it covered in sponsors?
Let's go. Let's be free in our barrel.
We just wash up on a mud bank and get left there for like 6 years until the tide gets high enough
Just
again.
gotta wait for the barrel to do its thing. You
We've
know?
just got to let the barrel do the work.
the barrel take us on our journey.
Can't wait to get to the Caribbean 8 years later.
Why
We're
just-
nowhere near. How did this happen?
All right. Are there
Right.
any questions, Craig?
While we're on the subject of the barrel,
Yeah.
I think it was Rook asks, how much would you have to be paid for you three to
Do that.
to do that?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Like a retirement.
so was it
ending
4
sum.
months?
Yeah.
That's 4 months.
Yeah,
of
like
your life.
yeah.
Like,
I think I'd do it for a milli.
A milli.
milli?
Yeah,
A milli.
I think you do it for half that.
I think I would.
If it depends on if.
But
the
you never
money's-
go in with your actual
Yeah,
offer,
yeah,
do
yeah,
you?
See,
You
okay,
hang
so
on
if somebody
high.
wants to sponsor us for a milli,
Yeah.
milli.
Each.
milli
Don't-
each,
You've also
3
just
milli.
said that you do it for half publicly.
Yeah, but who's gonna watch this?
You know, if
That's fair.
they come in here and want to do a deal, then fair enough.
We're also appealing to them.
show me the
to
barrel.
thing that they're not going to watch. Who's going to watch this?
Well, there's no camera.
Can we have a milli, please?
There's no way to charge it. Solar powered
Everything's
charge.
futile. I'll tell you. You're right, Charlotte. It
Just
is.
be happy, all right?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'll get him a barrel. No, I won't tell anyone about it.
It's their sly way of saying, I don't want 4 months of your content. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
I want you to be gone for 4 months.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
We read through
Craig read
between
that
the
one.
lines.
That's from Craig, isn't it?
Anything else, Craig?
Finlay.
Hello, Finlay.
Finlay
Hello.
asks, what do you guys think of the royal response to Trump?
The
which happened
royal
this week?
response. What was the
I
royal
mean,
I don't
response?
know.
They did what anyone would do. They were just like polite, right?
Yeah.
Mostly.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
I think didn't you say that Prince Charles tried to persuade him to do more for?
Yeah, so they were meant to have
environment.
like a 10-minute discussion. It ended up being 90 minutes about the environment and saying
Just-
like it's crucial that the US
Mm.
changes. And Trump said that the US is one of the cleanest
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah, can we just address that as being a really bollocks like way of saying things? Like basically every time anyone says anything about global warming, climate change, global warming, Trump doesn't necessarily say straight up, no, I don't believe in climate change. Like because that would be too easy for people to go like, wow, that's a like.
Has he not?
No, what he says is he goes down this line now of like, America's got the cleanest water, the cleanest air, the cleanest this, the cleanest that. It's like, even if that were true, and I haven't seen any evidence apart from him saying it to suggest that's true, even if that was true, climate change isn't a country by country thing. Like, yes, there's a lot of rivers out there in Asia that are polluting shit tons of plastic and all that sort of stuff. But that's everybody's problem.
That was his argument.
Yeah,
It's like, Asia's doing it worse than us.
Yeah.
So US is fine.
Well, it's still your fucking problem. Yeah. Like, it's everybody's problem. And as one of the most powerful people in the world, you're in a pretty fucking good position to try and do something about it.
If I took a shit on this desk right now, and then I just sat here and said, I don't mind it, would one of you clean it up?
I would eventually.
I'd rub your face in it.
Yeah, still
you
filthy bastard. I don't want to clean up my own mess. I'm clean. But eventually one of you would be like, well, yeah, fuck it, I'll clean it up.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just waiting for everyone else to
because it's not
pay
on his
the price. He wants
doorstep,
somebody else
it's
to pay for it.
It's not his problem.
No.
Yeah.
And he's probably slyly making money elsewhere.
He doesn't care because he's getting money from the oil industry.
So
it's the price of being top dog, though. You do have to pay for shit sometimes, don't you? You know, it's like when you know you're making vastly more money than your mate, and you're like, all right, mate, I'll get this round of drinks. Like, it's not a problem.
Yeah, you're so
like,
stop shitting on the table.
Stop spending money on sending all your soldiers to the southern border.
Like, yeah, I mean, I imagine Prince Charles was just
or 40 million on golf trips
to a brick wall, right?
Oh yeah,
just like trying to persuade someone who's just so set in their kind of ways.
Like if anyone's going to convince him, it's someone of like equal power or at least in a reputable position,
perceived power,
and that can understand.
Well, have you seen the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Charles? He did a documentary about climate change, which actually, well, it wasn't necessarily a documentary on climate change. It was more kind of about him. But also, it included a lot of his work about climate change. I didn't actually know this until I watched it. But yeah, he's a huge proponent for trying to clean up the sea, trying to do this, trying to do that, and like I think that's a really good example of how you use power that's been given to you. Like a lot of people say, like, oh, the royals. I mean, when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, fuck the monarchy. Like we don't need that shit anymore. But really, it's still a PR game, and if you've got
layered in guilt in any way, like wow, I couldn't help this lifestyle, but this is the way I'm going to pay back.
Not guilt, expectation. I think they understand the expectations placed upon them. You know, because
well, definitely. Like, when Meghan Markle joined, she like had to give up basically everything else for this, and you know, I guess.
Let's hope she does some good with it.
That's worthwhile, right?
Any more? One more.
One more. Okay, Fire Drake. This is going back to the original social media topic. If you could, what one rule would you enforce on social media to make it a better place?
I mean, enforcing a rule is the kind of the antithesis of what we were trying to.
I guess it's hard to. You can't really cut out people who are faking it, or like, I don't know, because it's hard to say.
Yeah, that is hard.
Because again, it's an element of, you know, everyone can say what they want to do and, you know, express themselves freely on these platforms for the most part.
There are no rules. How about that?
Probably, I mean, there's probably more they could do against, like literally like race hate and stuff like that, and targeted attacks towards people and stuff. But I don't know.
I don't think there's any rule you could put in place that would stop things happening.
There's no one rule that will do it. Yeah.
No. But I mean, God, I'd love to think about that longer.
Complex.
Yeah, exactly.
One rule for the development of said platform is you're allowed an edit button.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, potentially. I mean, I feel that might be damaging for Twitter. As in, like...
Well, you can still delete things, though, right?
You can delete it completely, but if you edit something after the fact, like... obviously, it might say edited or whatever, but, you know, if you go through fucking Donald Trump's old tweets and stuff...
I guess so many...
You know, when he was like...
So many tweets are
linked. It's a record.
Yeah, it's like a record, where it's like, yeah, you can delete it if you want to, but if you edit that to kind of change the meaning of it...
You have an edit button,
yeah,
but when you copy and link the tweet to put on an article, you get that version of it.
Couldn't it just be like the edit button's there for like 60 seconds after you post it?
Yeah.
Just to correct
the
thing. And then suddenly it goes...
Yeah.
Potentially.
There's the ability to undo, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's open for abuse, isn't it? You can imagine someone just
It's
typing
like,
something really horrific. Oh, no, I didn't actually say that.
Well,
look at it again.
It's almost that grace period of like thinking things through as like, do I really need to post that?
I feel like you should do that beforehand.
They've got that feature. Well, yeah, but
I think people should learn, especially
get caught up with it, and just like fuck you, and then send.
That's what I mean. But
they're like, oh shit, why did I send that?
That's, if anything, real. Like, that's a reaction they probably would have done in person potentially.
True.
Oh, for fuck, you still stink like shit.
But it's real. But at the same time, like, learn some reservation.
Yeah, think before you type anything online, because it is a record of you.
Gmail has that feature. If you like send it and they're like, oh fuck, put that in it. There's an undo button for like 5-10
Well,
seconds.
it depends on your purpose of using social media as well, right? So, say for example, you're using Twitter to promote a business or promote something, you're probably going to gear it in a certain way so that you don't offend a load of people. But if you're literally using it to be candid and to vent your thoughts,
Stream of consciousness.
then you wouldn't want to edit yourself, because it is a stream of consciousness. So it's a usage based thing as well. Like, but yeah, I mean, there's arguments for everything, isn't there? Really, like,
Just delete and tweet it again if you want to change something.
yeah,
There is that, yes.
I guess
little asterisk
for the most part.
Oh,
Sure.
oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I spelt sacred and scared wrong again.
But yeah, I mean, it's because like what was it I watched the other day? I was rewatching all the Black Mirror stuff because it was released yesterday, the new one, and I think it was not the entire history of you. It's the one where basically they print a dude out again because he died.
Yeah.
And then
put
they
him in
used
the
all of
box.
his social media to make him that person. But obviously that person, that's not who you are. And so yeah, that whole, I mean, it's very obvious, but that whole episode was about that, and it's very interesting. But
Well,
I think it'd be very weird if our personalities were based on
It does come
just
back
this
around.
profile.
Yeah, like you say, like you're seeing just a snippet and a
Yeah.
snapshot of what you want people to see publicly, and it doesn't mean that's the whole you.
But if your loved one wanted to recreate you and your thoughts and
You would
stuff,
not use your
and base
tweets.
it on that,
don't
you'd
use
be
our YouTube for
No.
Christ's sakes.
Well,
you probably could use our YouTube though, like to replicate us in some way.
some way.
But not everything.
Well, no,
Especially if it's episode 3 of the latest series, you probably could make a little version of us.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
First episode of that was weird.
Mm.
Like the game, I mean, that was in. Do
What are
you
you
remember the
talking
first
about?
episode of Black Mirror? The
Yes.
newest one?
Yeah. I'm like so confused as to.
Well, I'm not going to spoil anything. But
Okay.
there's a game in it that just for some reason breaks all boundaries, and you can do anything in it. But
Mhm.
yeah,
That's modern technology, isn't it? The future.
yeah,
Scary,
I
terrifying.
still find it very odd.
Scary. Please, I don't want to see any more of it. I'm
All
gonna
right.
be like, come like my nan.
But before, we won't
What
go-
isn't
go
scary?
Well,
What is scary? Relying on Patreon for
Oh,
our hat
yeah.
chats and also keep continuing.
That
Is that
is-
scary to you that the hat chat could stop at any moment?
Yeah.
Well, it's scary to us too, and we want to keep doing this, and we want to
Wow.
be able
Put
to.
a gun to their head, Trump.
Well, it's not. It's
a
totally
big- it's a
fine.
big
Why don't you
gun.
tell us about
It's a big
Squarespace as well whilst you're
Hat
at
chat
it?
shaped gun.
Well, I prefer Wix.
We aren't sponsored by them.
We aren't sponsored
No
by
one's
either.
sponsoring this.
We don't have any podcast sponsors
We don't have a
apart
sponsor.
from you.
Which
Is that our fault? I think it might
Yeah,
be.
probably.
Well, we choose not to have sponsors right now because we feel like we can just be more authentic. We don't have to say stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It could become a thing in the future. Who knows? But right now, we have you to support us, which is great. So patreon.com/hatfilms. Choose the Hat Chat tier.
Yeah.
If you like our YouTube, there's that option as well.
Yeah.
And it keeps this going. It keeps us like allotting a Thursday basically to doing this. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we would do other things
Mhm.
because time is money, friends.
Alternatively, you could not pay for it and just listen to it for free,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's totally fine.
Yeah.
It's entirely
No
up to you,
pressure.
yeah.
But thank you to all those that do support us. You
Yeah.
are featured at the end of the VOD
Mhm.
on our Hat Chat YouTube channel. There's a scrolling credits list of all you wonderful
'Cause, yeah,
people.
I said it before, like, but I used to love Ricky Gervais's podcast with
Yeah.
Steve Merchant and Carl Pilkington. If I could pay anything now to get them to keep doing that,
Yeah.
I fucking would.
This
Because
is
I fucking
basically
loved it.
that. We're offering
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we're that good.
We're
And
not that
hopefully
good.
we're going to be that
We're not on that
successful.
level,
No,
unfortunately.
we're offering the platform to support us to keep doing
Yeah.
it, not to become Ricky Gervais.
Well, we could, if you pay enough, we could get the surgery.
we could
I'd
get
like
the
to become
surgery.
like Ricky Martin, if that's an option.
Okay.
Ba, 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 da, da, ba, ba. I could beat the instruments.
Like a clone of him. Okay, we'll be just trombones. In the
Yeah.
Trombone.
Craig can play us.
Yeah. Yes, he says.
Yes.
All right, well, thanks everybody for listening to this episode
Oh.
of Hat Chat.
And also, if you have any questions, send them to hatchat@hat-films.com. We didn't get any last week. We had like
Oh,
one.
there you go.
We had like 2.
Oh no,
One,
send them
one
in.
was the Fingal. So send your Fingals in, and yeah, we'll check them out.
We need some more
Also,
fingers.
just quickly, thanks to all the experts and people like that who've got in touch with us saying like, hey, we'd like to come on the podcast. At some point, we'll probably get around to try to organise that.
Yeah.
But we've had Simon Clark on tap for about 2 months,
even then, it's
and
still-
we haven't used him either. So
Yeah.
put it down to us. Don't worry. Thank you for your offers. We will be in touch if we need anyone. Thank you.
Yeah, so
Yes.
before you go and rush to the channel to subscribe to this podcast, which is the Hat Chat podcast, type that
Mhm.
into YouTube. We're going to head off, but not before we play the Fingal again, which
Thank
was
you, Robin.
I was from Robin
Haig.
Haig.
Thank you, Robin Haig. Goodbye, everybody.
So,
See
yeah.
you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.